Adjusting levels, audio levels, basically means adjusting the loudness of the sound in a clip or in a track. So when we talk about levels, we're really just talking about volume, we're talking about loudness. And the ways that we can change the loudness or the levels of our clips is in two ways. Now, we have these little yellow lines that go across our clips. I call them volume bars or panning bars or whatever you want to call them, really. Depending on which one of these is selected, volume or panning, then that bar is going to be moved up or down, depending on whether you want to turn up the sound or turn down the sound, or if you had panning selected, you'd be panning left and right. Now, this volume bar is very handy. It's used to change the volume of the clips, but it's really only supposed to be used once you've set a good bass level in your audio. And to get that good bass level before you start fine-tuning it and finessing it with this volume bar here is to do what's called a normalization. A normalization just means setting the volume of the clips to a specific level across the clip. And then you can go about changing it a small bit if you need to in the mix using this yellow bar. So let's normalize these first. Now I have some very quiet and less quiet, but still fairly quiet audio on each of my two clips here, my interviewer and my interviewee. Now while these are still linked, I'm going to select them and go to audio gain, and I'm going to go down to normalize all peaks to -6. Now when I do this, you'll see that it processes the clip, and the waveform will grow because we've changed the volume of the clip. The yellow bar has nothing to do with this. The yellow bar will only adjust on top of that once it's been done. So I'll click OK, and you'll see that we have much stronger levels here now. So I can play the interviewee, or interviewer, and the interviewee.
It's being in the town, so it's something.
Now, this has really boosted our person talking, but you'll notice that because we just did a really kind of we forced the audio up on our clips, it means that even the bits that the little bits of noise that were recorded on the microphone or any kind of interference is also going to get brought up. Now there is a very handy effect in Premiere called denoiser. So if you even just put in D and N, you'll see that denoiser pops up there. Now what I'm going to do before I apply this effect, however, is to unlink my clips, because I'm going to need a different level of denoiser for each one of these. So I'll start with my interviewer, drag my denoiser over, and double click that, and you'll see up here we have effect controls. Now this is just going to allow me to modify my denoiser effect. So if I click open that, go to custom setup, you get this little old-fashioned effect control box. So what I'll do is I'll just hit the space bar to play that, and I'm going to adjust the reduction by clicking and dragging to the left, and it'll look like the knob is turning down. So I'll hit space and I'll stop talking while I do it.
Talk of loud Americans in Waterville, and as you come from a tourist hotspot, Killarney, do you feel there's an impact?
I'll just stop that there. Now what I should have done actually while I was putting that effect on is to mute the other clip so that I'm only listening to the one that I'm applying the effect to. So I'll just click on this little speaker button there and hit spacebar again.
With tourists, does it...
And you'll see that it actually does quite a good job. Now it does degrade the person talking a little bit as well, but...
Impact on Killarney itself?
It's quite negligible.
Or on you as a risk?
So I'll bring that back up till I just start hearing the hiss again. Okay, so there's a bit too much there. Now, okay, so that's fine. I'll switch that one off now. I'll switch on the track that contains my other talker.
I've been born and raised in Killarney, so I suppose.
And I'll drag the denoiser onto that as well. Load it up. Go into my effect controls. Open up custom setup.
Suppose I'm well used.
I'll actually go to the bit just before she starts talking.
Impact on Killarney?
Well, I've been born and raised in Killarney, so I suppose I'm...
So that's not nice and clean. So I can switch them both back on now, and I can...
Recently in the news there has been a lot of talk of loud...
might take that one down a little bit more. So I'm double clicking on that to load it up here. Go to my effect control, and I'll turn that down a little bit more.
Loud Americans in Waterville.
Much better.
And as you come from a tourist hotspot, Killarney, you as a resident of Killarney?
Well, I've been born and raised in Killarney, so I suppose I'm...
So this will get you out of a certain amount of noise problems when you adjust the levels. So now I've got that done. I can then, if I need to, I can start working on this levels bar. If for some reason I needed to take down a particular part at a particular place, let's see if we can find somewhere that we can remove.
Notice of myself, but I mean, I just think if you're putting up signs like that one that was put up in the cafe, I think it was a cafe window. I mean, if I was a tourist abroad in another country and there was a sign saying no Irish allowed, you know, no, we don't want any loud Irish people or anything like that, I'd be highly...
Okay, now let's just say, now this is just purely just to demonstrate the point. Let's say we wanted to remove that, just that breath there.
Anything like that.
The inhalation. Now, I'm not saying that it would absolutely be a requirement, but this is how you would go about doing it. Now, this would be more for things like a cough, or if there was a bang in the background or something like that, if someone dropped a ladder or something behind the camera, you can remove the sound using the levels bar. Now, the way I would go about doing it is using keyframes. So I can get my pen tool and I can draw a few points here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, which allow me then to click and drag my second 2 points down so that the volume becomes lower just on the portion where that inhalation is. So if I play through that now,
or anything like that, I'd be highly...
Okay, now you can actually hear it on the other side. So what I'll do is I'll take down all of this portion. So where my interviewer got to be kidding me. Okay, well, I'm going to just end this video at this point because Adobe has decided to crash.